Hello, hello, hello. How you doing today, people? How you doing today? We'll see somebody come in here so I don't have to be talking to myself. And I don't like the glare. We'll see somebody come in here so I don't have to be talking to myself. I don't like the glare from the light. Shawnee, how you doing? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The weekend. Mr. Loris, how you doing? Thank you for listening. I'll start as soon as some folks get up in here. But it's the weekend, so it's time to bring it down. Not time to be getting stuff all hyped up again. So I hope y'all had a good day today. I just saw your video not too long ago, Shawnee, on all the different mixes of honeys you mixed up. That's good to have. Always keep this little mixture right here on the desk. That's garlic and honey. When it start getting cold, or my grandson start barking, sneezing, whatever, I give him a spoonful of it before he go to school, and when he come home, he get another spoonful, and that's it. I take my spoonful, keep going. TG, enjoy garden. How you doing, TG? Setting up for the fight. I understand. My son came in here telling me about, Papa, you could watch the fight. The fight is free. We could watch that online, and I ain't concerned about that fight. I ain't concerned about the fight. One thing I know, Iron Mike gonna beat him up. Plain and simple. Iron Mike gonna beat him up. I'm finding you, TG. I hope your foot is doing well, TG. But well, let me go ahead and, as you see, my topic is back down memory lane, and I didn't go outside today. I stayed on the inside, and I bought my wife some furniture. 2018, we got new furniture and stuff in the bedroom, and I always told my wife I didn't like the handles that were on the. I didn't like the handles that was on the dressers and stuff. They just didn't look good to me, and I kept saying I didn't like them. Went and bought some new knobs and stuff for the dress, and I figured today I'll finally put them on. The Bud Files, how you doing? Welcome in. Tamika Davis, how you doing? Yeah. So that's basically what I did today, was just change the knobs on the dressers. Now every dresser in there got the same. I think what 30. I changed about 52 knobs on on two dressers and two nightstands. I just didn't like the way that the knobs and the handles that they had on there. I just didn't like it. When we bought the stuff, it looked good. Whatever the wife said she want, that's what I buy. But yeah, 52 knobs. And I didn't like the other ones, so I just unscrew them, throw them in the trash, and put the new ones on. It took me about, I was chilling, just relaxing. It took me about an hour to get it done. And other than that, I was just chilling. Uh, Vito Loco, how you doing? Welcome in. But like I said, back down memory lane, and while I was doing the work on the dressers, the my iPad, I think it was my iPad I had on, and they were talking about 2025 and all this other crap and everything. And I really don't want to think about 2025, but it's a part of our life. And in the process of going through the drawers, taking the knobs off and stuff, I ran across some pictures and stuff, and I was thinking, hey, I'll just show it to you. Y'all might be able to pick some folks out. Yeah, I might be able to pick somebody out. That fella right there. Yeah, I might be able to pick him out. See, old pictures and stuff. This one is 1968. Y'all ain't gonna be able to see that one well, but that's a picture from back in the early '60s, and that was here in Georgia. That one was here in Georgia as a little fella, and I got two other pictures, but you won't see them. Just going back down memory lane and stuff. Thinking about then compared to now and what's about to happen. Sometimes we can't control time and we can't control all the stuff that's going on. We just have to live our life. Oh, I didn't show that pretty lady right there. That's my grandmother. She's the one that got me into gardening stuff. Uh, when we were real young, we moved from Georgia to New York in '63, and the first time, when we first came up, I think there was about 20 families. We were in one long house and only had one bathroom, and there were certain times that each family, it been 12 families, but family only been in like a 2 or 3 bedroom apartment, but it was 12 families in the house. All right, Bo. Them folks don't know you. That's my son. He coming in, interrupting things.
Lena.
Hey.
They just want to see that granddaddy.
Time out, people. Grandkids coming in.
Hey, Papa.
How you doing? How you doing? Give me some. You gonna give me a hug?
Mm-hmm.
I ain't talking about you. You ain't gotta give me no. You big and rusty. Come in, Lena. Give me. What you gonna squeeze? I gotta squeeze. All right. Turn around. Turn around. There's some people in there looking at you. Wave at them. Wave at them. Say hey.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how you doing?
Let's get your food.
You want a hug too, big fella? Come on, big fella. I ain't picking you up though. You can say hello too. Wave right there to folks. Hello. Raise your hand up. Can't see it. There you go.
Y'all come on.
All right, me.
Hey, baby, you want to help me buy some pizza?
No, I don't want pizza.
Oh, what you want to eat?
Excuse me, y'all. I'm back, y'all. I'm back. Unfortunately, I didn't know we were gonna have grandchildren here tonight. So let me see. Where we at? I know some folks came in. Buddha Destin, how you doing? I'm doing good, thank you. Okay. F. Smith Welch, how you doing? Miss Shirley OG, how you doing? Okay, I'm back on track. Yeah, it's a grandchildren party. Oh, I forgot today Friday. I hope they don't stay overnight. Let me stop. I'm glad to see my grandchildren and everything. That's 3 out of 6. There's let me see. That's yeah. I got one more boy and another girl. Those I hope they don't show up. Odom's Homestead, how you doing? Pescatarian Gardener, how you doing? But my whole thing was going back down memory lane, and apparently they're gonna make me go back down memory lane too. How it used to be without grandchildren. She said, "How you doing?" I show a few of the pictures for those that's just coming in, because I said I was going back down memory lane. Y'all might know that fella right there. And I show that one again. This one was in Georgia back in I think 60. And them children right there. But going back down memory lane, as I was doing the knobs and stuff on the dressers and stuff today, and I got finished, and I was just thinking about the old times after listening to them talk all this trash on the screen about 2025 and all this other stuff. And I just thought about, going back down memory lane when things wasn't so rough and pitiful. It's good when you had hard times, but you don't know that you're having hard times. That's how it is back then. I didn't grow up with a silver spoon in my mouth, but I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell at all. And how far can you go back and remember your childhood when things were perfect and that's all you knew? You thought everything was perfect. Man, the past. Can you remember how young you was? On this picture right here, actually that picture right there, I think I was 4 years old. I think this is a 4-year-old. I was 4 years old when I took that picture right there. And I can remember a lot of the good times. As I was saying, when my family came from Georgia to New York, we were in a big long building, and there was 12 families, 12 apartments, 12 families. And it didn't matter how many people was in your family. Your whole family had to fit in that room. It only had 3 rooms, 1 big room and 2 bedrooms, and everybody had to share 1 bathroom. And they had times that you had to go to the bathroom and use it and stuff. And it was rough, but it wasn't rough. It was rough, but it wasn't rough. And at that time, there was a total of. I was raised with my grandmother, and there was a total of. She had 12, so I was raised with 10 kids. I was raised with 10 others. I made 13, and we was in that house. There was about 4 that was above the age where they can go out and do what they want to do, but they come back. But the rest of us, we were crammed up in there. My grandparents, they had a bedroom, and the older girls had a bedroom. Everybody else, they was out on the floor. We had blankets, quilts, sheets, and everything. But it was good times. We didn't have a bunch of food or anything, but I don't remember anybody starving. We went to New York in 63. In 65, my grandfather bought a house, and that became the family house. And that's where my grandmother taught us about gardening. A lot of us didn't want to do it back then, but she'd tell us, get out there and rake this and get the hoe and beat the ground up and till this and tear that up. And I don't want no grass over here, this, that, and other. And the first time she did the garden, it was about a 10 by 12, and it was right next side the house. And I think in the back, it could have been a little over half an acre in the back. And but it was wooded up. It had trees and big bushes and everything. And that's when she started to garden with us. We had a big grapevine that separated our yard and our neighbor's yard. And I think that was in 65, 66. She got all the kids back there. And we cut down trees and cut trees and dug up the grass, dug up everything. And then that's where she put her garden that second time she gardened. And everybody had to get out there to do something in the garden. And the older ones, they didn't like doing it. They go out and do some everything. But me and the other young ones didn't have a choice. We had to do what we were told. Shawnee, how you doing? Welcome in. So I said, how far can y'all remember back in your childhood? How far can you remember the good times and the bad times growing up? Can y'all remember that? Let me drop the link. If you want to participate, come on up. The link is in the chat. Because we're talking about going back down memory lane. And I was thinking about a whole bunch of stuff, me growing up, compared to what I got to face in 2025. The thing is, when you're having struggles and you don't know you're struggling, and your struggle is not a struggle because it seemed like everything is going smooth. 3 or 4 maybe years old, my grandparents. Yeah. Pescatarian. Yeah, you remember 3 and 4. I remember being 3 years old because that's when earlier than 3, the only thing I remember is our little dog. We used to have a shaggy black dog that we used to call Pupsy, and that was it. That's the only part about down here in Georgia I remember until we actually left Georgia and went to New York. Then everything started opening up for me. It's not like now where your 5 and 6 year old, they're not allowed to be, well, I'm not going to say not allowed, but you don't allow your 5 and 6 year old walking up and down the street and all that stuff. When I was 6 years old, I had a paper route at the age of 6 years old. It was, we didn't have any problem. Everybody knew everybody. I got to do what I want to do. We didn't have this computer age thing where we're stuck up in the room watching video games and playing the video games, just everything on the computer and all that. We didn't have all that. I didn't go sit on the phone talking to my friends and all that stuff. We actually had something to do. And if there wasn't nothing to do in the house, you always had something to do outside. The heat didn't bother you. The cold didn't bother you, but it'll get you now and then. But How far can you go back and remember and talk about the times you enjoyed, the times that were hard, but you didn't know they were hard? When I was young, like I said, my grandmother raised me for a good while. I thought my big sister was my big sister until I found out my big sister was my mother. So, like I said, there was good times and there was bad times. But hey, I remember some of the bad times. I remember some of the good times. But I remember more good times than I remember bad times, because growing up, there was no bad times. There was no bad times, really, unless I got a spanking something. But other than that, I remember all the good times being a young fella back in the 60s. I remember all that, and that was the kind of stuff I kind of wish I had now. 3 generations live in 2 family houses growing up. I had fun. Never knew we were middle class back in the 50s. That's right, Miss Shirley. That is right. Now, I don't want to be disrespectful or anything, but what we used to do, that's what the Mexicans do now. They'll have 2 or 3 families up in one house, and they'll be getting along. We don't do it like we used to do back then. We didn't have a problem. It'll be, at one time, it was our actual family, and I think it was my grandmother's sister. I think it was her sister that was visit us quite too often. So, hey, those times compared to these times, like I said, we always had something to do. And I check what is that thing where you find out when you can retire, and I looked at it and they said they go from the time you start working and everything, and mine was actually 1966. They had me working at 1966 till present, and I was scratching my head about that. 66. I said I know I had a paper route, but I didn't think that was something that Social Security get involved with. Let me see. Things were so different. My sister and I would walk to the store and nobody bothered us. We played outside and had fun. That is true. That is true. Back in the 60s, we know we had to be in the house before the street lights come on. But when the street light come on, my grandmother or some of the elder ones, they'll come out, they'll sit on the steps, and we'll be chilling. We'll be playing hide-go-seek and all this stuff. We'll still be outside having fun. And then when my grandparents go in, we know it's time to go in the house. We know it's time to go in the house, and we had it good. We had it good. There was a bar on the corner from where we live, and we used to stay at a big 3-story house after we moved, and the boys were on the bottom floor, girls were on the top floor, and our grandparents was in the middle. And the baby girl was also in the middle. No, the 2 young girls was in the middle with my grandparents. The older girls were on the 3rd floor, and the boys were on the basement floor. And what we would do is if I say my mother, I'm talking about my mother. When I say mother, I'm talking about my grandmother, because she raised me. And after we come in, we go down there, we get all our change together. They say, hey, let's get a pizza. We'll get something, and whoever it is, you do it this time. I did it last time. We'll sneak out the door. We go all the way up to the bar, order a pizza, get chips, whatever it is, and we come all the way back home, and we sneak in the basement. We won't make no noise or nothing. Our grandparents be on the 2nd floor They be talking or whatever. They don't even know we went out. So we had fun doing that stuff. Those were some good days. Didn't have to worry about nobody trying to kidnap us or do something wrong to us. We didn't have to worry about all that compared to today. Now, they want to kidnap children and use them for all these different things. Hey, it's rough. It's rough. Deborah Garrett, how you doing? Welcome in. We're talking about going back down memory lane. I'm talking basically about me, but I don't guess nobody else ever went back down memory lane to think about the things you used to do, things you got in trouble for, things that you shouldn't have did, but you did anyway. Yeah, the good old days. Welcome in, Mike. Oldham's Homestead. What's up, bro? True enough, the good old days. Happy Mac, how you doing? They were good days that I learned how to break in suitcases. I learned how to pick locks and stuff. I was a young fella. I learned that just from watching TV. It Takes a Thief. I used to watch it. I used to watch that all the time, and I learned how to do what he did, and I started doing a little thievery. But when I got my behind toe up, I stopped the thievery. I stopped stealing. Miss T, how you doing? Welcome in, sis. We talking about the back down memory lane, talking about the old days. Psalms 146, how you doing? I like them days compared to these now, because I'm thinking about these days, because like I said, we're getting ready to go in 2025. You're going to need something to hold you, because I don't know what this world going to be like in 2025. A lot of us are scratching our heads and stomping our feet, cussing each other and doing some of everything else because we didn't get what we want or desire at election time. And my thing is, they talk bad about both of them. And my thing is always pick the less of the two evils. Pick the less of the two evils. And I leave it at that. I'm not going to tell you who you should have voted for. I'm not going to beat you up who you did vote for. I'm not worried about that. The only thing I got to do now is keep these memories in my heart, mind, and continue on. And hopefully that my children, my grandchildren, and thereon can have some good times too, and don't have to know what a real struggle is of our forefathers. I put it that way. The folks that raised our parents and our parents' parents. Let's hope that our children don't have to experience what they experienced. Because that's one of the things thinking about. After I got finished doing the dress, I was just laying on the bed thinking about old times compared to these new times. We should never say lesser if. Let me see. We should never say lesser if the two evils, because we should not be voting for evil. True enough, we shouldn't be voting for evil, but the Bible does say we have to obey the law of the land. But I tell you this much, whether we obey the law of the land or obey God's word, yes, I think we went a little wonky on a few months back. I hope it works itself out soon. Yes, I hope it does. I hope it does. I pray for the land. I pray for the country. I pray for our leaders. I pray that everything turn out right, that we all can live the life that we desire to live. Bam it, what's up, bro? How you doing? I want to be able to live my life. Uh, those that know me, I'm trying to make that 113. So I make that 113, I'll be fine. And I want other people to make, I don't know what the number y'all desire to get to, but hey, whatever your heart desire, that's what whatever you want, that's what I want for you. And I want my grandchildren to grow up that they don't have any problems, that they be able to have a good life. I'm praying that they have a good life. And not just my children, all children. All children that's coming up now, I pray that they all have a good life and let it be prosperous. So what is it for y'all when you think about going back down memory lane? Sometimes going back down memory lane is what keeps us our mind together. Sounds good to me. I just want everyone to be healthy and happy. That is absolutely true, Happy Matt. I want everybody to be happy. I sincerely desire for the Lord to come back already, because that's going to be glorious. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. My thing is, Psalms, no matter what situation we're in, we got to keep in our mind who we serve. I could tell you right now, if I was more concerned about serving man, me being on this YouTube thing, I want your money. I want your money. I'm not like that. I wasn't brought up like that, and I'm not going to be like that now. My thing is to help people the best I can. I want to help you be a better you, if that's what it takes. All children and all people. Yes, yes, yes. Now, and just think about, can y'all remember when y'all was growing up the funniest time y'all had? Some of the funniest times y'all had, and you think about it now, you just bust up laughing. Can y'all think about that? When you feel sad, you think about what happened back then to give you joy now. I remember a lot of it. Stuff that gives me joy. Now, I didn't deal with them or nothing, because they had a big. Let me see. I think it was 4 or 6 blocks from James Brown. He had a nice mansion out there and everything. He was good until he painted it black and white. As I was gonna say, he was nice until he painted the fence and stuff out there black and white. My mom, she was his nurse. She was one of his nurses, and I didn't know that till later on. My mom was a nurse, and he was sick or something, and I know she was supposed to be coming home, and she wasn't coming home. She called me, and she called me on the phone, the house phone, and she said she wasn't going to be home until 11 or 12 that night, because James Brown, he got sick or something, and he came to the hospital. And when he gets sick, he got a special location that he go in. He has special nurses, special doctors that come in where he was at. So that's that's part of my mom. But hey, that was some good times. I had a babysitter. I wasn't a baby, but after school, my mom, she was working. So this old lady, a lot of people know her. Well, you don't know her personally, but you know her from TV. Mom's Mabley. She was my babysitter. And I liked it, but she used to make me mad because back then I could take I think it was 2 cents for Kool-Aid. It was 2 cents went to 5 cents for Kool-Aid, and I would go get the Kool-Aid and sprinkle it in my hand. We'd just be eating Kool-Aid as little kids. We were eating the Kool-Aid off our hands and everything. And she would take the Kool-Aid from us, and she would make a pitcher of Kool-Aid, and everybody gets some Kool-Aid, and then the rest of the Kool-Aid gets sold for 5 or 10 cents in a little cup. She made ices with them and stuff. So I enjoy, except for when she take my Kool-Aid money. That was the only problem I had with her. The funniest thing that ever happened to me was I took a nap immediately after school, woke up right before sunset thinking I was fixing to be able to be late for school, changed clothes, went running back. Well, hey, I understand. Well, most kids only been to about two schools or one to two schools before they hit middle school. I was in I was in 6 schools before I got to middle school. Because let me see if I can get it. I lived in Albany. I lived in Brooklyn. I lived in Central Islip. I lived in Long Island. I lived all over New York. That's because I had a single mom. And when I find out that my big sister was my mom and she started taking me and everything, and I go live with her, then I come back to my grandmother. Go live with her, come back to my grandmother. So I had a lot of exciting times. My friend and I riding donkey and cows when adults were around. I miss playing cards with my older people who've passed on. They sure did know how to have a great time. Yes, they did. They had a real good time compared to what we have now. Grammys Journal, welcome in. Cece, how you doing? Do you feel the dinosaurs? Folks from Texas always got to talk trash. No, CC, we didn't have any dinosaurs in New York. The link is in the chat if you want to come up. The everyday life of an ODC-ish chick. How you doing, Nikki? I'm just sitting up here telling folks and showing. I'll show that fella again. I was going back down memory lane. Going back down memory lanes, remembering the time compared to now. I look away. Okay, CC, it's all right. It's all right. I expect shenanigans when you come in, CC. But my whole thing is getting ourselves together that we can face 2025. And like I said, I was going down memory lane today, and I'm praying that my children, grandchildren, great grand, all my children to come won't have to deal with certain situations that folks want to bring back and want to do. And I have my great grandchildren's. I ain't even got them yet, but I'm praying for them now that they don't have to go through anything. I don't want them to go through what my great grandparents went through. Yeah, yes, he was, Batman. Even though he had a little snot on his face, yes, he was. But it's a good thing. Like I said before, my grandmother, she's the one that taught me about the garden and everything. I stayed in the garden. She had 12 kids, and I'm the grandson, and I stayed in the garden more than any of them. I guess I just like what she was doing. She's the one that I watched her when we were out doing the garden and stuff. She'd come out, check the collard greens and all that stuff. Then she said, go in there and grab the container with the flour and bring that can out here. And she would take the flour and sprinkle the flour all on the leaves and everything, throw it up under the leaves. Excuse me. She didn't put much on the ground, but she put it basically on all the green brassicas and all that stuff. And here we go. We got some more coming from Texas. But anyway, she put the flour on the collard greens and all that stuff. And basically back then, collard greens was the majority of the brassica that she ever made was collard greens. All the turnips and all that stuff. You might get turnips every now and then, but it was basically collard greens. Yes, Cece from Texas. How you doing?
I'm doing great, and you?
That depends.
Why? I'm not gonna give you a hard time.
You already did.
I was seriously wanting to know what the dinosaurs ate. Was it collards?
If I'm not mistaken, the dinosaurs was vegetarian back then.
Collards is a veggie.
Okay, Cece. So how you doing, Cece? You got any dinosaurs over there eating your leaves up over there?
No, the worms are. Golly, them things are horrible.
Well,
Hey, y'all.
you might need to take and put some flour on your stuff too.
Yeah, I have. I've been putting the diatomaceous. I've been putting BT. I've been out there with the pew pew ready. It's nothing working.
You need a pew pew for worms.
About to blow them up.
Desperate. Yeah, yes, pescatarian. Families were much closer back then. Families were much closer. You can have 2 or 3 families in the same house. Nobody has a problem. Everybody eat. Everybody getting full. Mm-hmm. Today, no.
Well, I think a lot of the times when the matriarch or the patriarch passes away, the family just splits apart after then.
Yes.
Because they kept the family together. And then when they pass away, people act like they wanted to act, but they knew not to back then.
Mm-hmm.
And people just went separate ways. I mean, most families, even if they didn't live in the same house, they lived in the same neighborhood, right, or at least definitely in the same city. So you still seeing your people. But now everybody just scattered and went somewhere else and moved to other cities and countries. And so.
Boy, see. Well, that's my son just walked up in here. Just come grab my truck keys and want to go where he want to go. He know I'm not going to act up right now because I'm on here. Mm-hmm. But other than that, I'll probably take some and throw it at him. But yeah, I understand what you mean because just down here in Georgia, my grandmother passed in 2015. And it seemed like after that time, everybody kind of separated.
Yep.
We keep trying to have family units and stuff for folks to come together, but it's not working out as well as when she was around.
Right.
And my grandmother go ahead.
My grandma passed in 2017, and That's when everybody start, because for one, her house was the main house that everybody came to.
Right.
And so after she was gone, and my uncle pretty much bought out all the other siblings for the house, for he can use it as a rent house. So we didn't have a place to, you know what I'm saying? No
Right.
place for everybody to go to. And
There was no family spot.
right.
Mhm.
And that's sad.
Yeah, yeah. Well, before my father, that man, well, my father, before he passed, there's two. Actually, it's kind of strange. Uh, the property was mine when me and my wife came from Germany. My grandmother bought a house, put it on there for us, and I would never move in because she wouldn't give me the deed for the property or the house. So it was mine, but we refused to move into it because she wouldn't give me the paperwork. Then when she got sick in 2012, the oldest boys, they went and separated all the property and everything. So what was mine became my daddy's, and his brother that passed, they gave him his property. So when he came here to live with me, he said, "I'm gonna sell a property." I said, "How you gonna sell a property and you got all these grandkids and stuff around here? You got me, you got your daughter, she got kids in there. Ain't nobody coming down here to live." I said, "I don't care." I said, "Give it to me. I take care of it. I can sell it to so and so." No, you ain't selling nothing. So I told him, I said, "I do the paperwork." So he didn't want me to do the paperwork. They went and spent, I think, $300 something to get everything transferred over to me when I could have did it and it didn't cost them nothing. But I said the money didn't come out of my pocket. We good.
Yeah.
So the property actually was mine, went to my daddy, and then it came back to me. I said, man. So I tell my kids, I said, you got property. I actually got two, but I raised five. And I told them too, there's property. If you want to move down there, whatever, you can move there. You got property. Told my sister, if your kids want to come down, they can come down. They can move on the property. They ain't coming back down there. I said, that's fine. I enjoy that. I don't want them to come down here. But no, there's property not too far from where the family originated at. There's property down there. And I tell kids all the time, you can move down there on that property. You don't have to come up here and stay with me, visit me now. Move on the property. They don't, I guess everybody love their mama. But talking about the patriarch,
yeah.
What got me was when my dad died, my daughter, she's my stepsister, but she's my sister. She look up to me. You're the patriarch now. I said, what? I said, I'm not that old. She said, you're the patriarch now. Okay. I said, okay. I've got what? 5 uncles still here that's older than me. And then I'm the oldest grand on both sides.
Okay. So do y'all ever have family reunions?
Yeah, they do. The last one they just had one in July. No, it wasn't July. Yeah, July. They had one in July, and I didn't want to go because my wife, she was sick at the time. I find out after the family reunion is over, my uncle called me and he started telling me everything that was going on. I said, I'm glad I didn't go. Find out they were fighting and pulling guns because the original one that was supposed to do the family reunion, the other folks didn't like what she was doing. And then somebody told her and they start pulling guns and everything. I said, I'm glad I didn't go.
Wow. Yeah, we have our family reunion every 2 years. And so this next year, we will be in Louisiana. So we either do it in Texas or we do it in Louisiana. And so this coming year, it'll be back in Louisiana.
Well, the last we had one in New York. The only the family reunion was supposed to have been in the state park, and I don't know what went wrong. That's also when they were talking trash, and I told them I'll come up there and blow them out the box. I had all my cooking gear, everything to barbecue, and all of a sudden, the family reunion ended up being in the church parking lot.
Oh.
So I didn't cook, and ain't nobody else cooking nothing. I said, "How y'all gonna have a family reunion?" But then it's in the church parking lot. So I was disappointed with that one going up north. So we just had to see what goes on later.
Hey GT, hey Dark X.
How you doing, Dark X? How you doing? But just thinking about the good times. Things were stressful, but think about the good times we had back then compared to now. And since you were born and the computer age came out and everything when you were born, CC?
I was born before the computer age.
No. When you were born, there were computers out. Trust me.
Yeah, but we couldn't, like, it wasn't in your house.
You're right. Because
it was at the schools, but
yeah.
You know?
What was it called? D-Base?
I don't know what it was.
See?
I remember having to learn to type and all that kind of stuff on like a typewriter.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm not that young.
Not that old either. But anyway, I'm sure you created some times back that you actually enjoyed yourself while you were young.
Oh yeah. I mean, riding our bikes everywhere and playing football with my cousins and everything, because I grew up with boy cousins, and it was just me and my girl cousin, but she had a brother and everything. So we all, I mean, it wasn't they wasn't weak on the girls. You better not have looked like you was trying to be weak out there. So
tell me one of the funniest times you had when you were young.
Well, I tell you I mean, it probably is funny to people, but it wasn't me. Okay, so you know, like the crawfish dirt piles that you see when the crawdads make those. So we were throwing them at each other, right? Because we like when they would fall, you hit them and they like bombs kind of went off, So I call myself hitting my cousin. He was younger than me. He was only a couple years younger than me. Whatever.
Homestead Rachel, welcome in.
So I threw it at him and he got mad, right? Well, I decided to take off because I could run fast back in the day, barefoot in the country. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I had to be around 3 or 4 years old.
What? You need to. Anyway,
you said back in the day.
And so I was running. I mean, I'm full speed just running, right? Well, my cousin used to play baseball, and he was one of the pitchers. Man, I'm halfway down the road, and he threw a rock. He picked up a rock, threw it, and hit me in the back of my head. He hit me. Head started bleeding. I'm like, oh my God. I don't know how he even hit me. But it wasn't no dirt, he threw a rock at me. We both got in trouble. I got in trouble for throwing the thing. He got in trouble for making my head bleed. Everybody was all in uproar. And then we wanted to go and play outside afterwards.
Hey, that's because we was kids back then.
Right. It's like, that's my cousin. I mean, who else you going to play with? That was all who was around.
That's it. Immediate family and cousins. That was basically it.
That was it.
Okay. Yeah. Now I'm gonna tell you one of the funniest ones. It was kind of dangerous, but it was funny to me. I was young. I was 5 years old, and we were on the Greyhound bus. We were leaving We was leaving Brooklyn to come back to Albany, and me and my mom couldn't sit in the same seat. I mean, the same area. She was across from me, and slightly one seat behind me. And this old guy, he was drunk, got a cigarette, and he was walking, talking, trash, and it was another lady said, "You need to get from over that boy right there." And my mom also said, "You need to get from over my son right there." And next thing you know, he want to talk trash and all that, and it was a cigarette ash fell on my head. My mama, she jumped up, she jumped on his back, she hit him a few times with her shoe, and then it was two other people on the bus too. They start kicking him. I was sitting there, I was laughing. It was funny. And then once the bus driver stopped, kicked them off the bus and everything, and everybody in there start laughing. Everybody start laughing. They asked me, "Am I all right?" Everybody offered me candy and all that stuff. I'm fine. I'm okay. My mom, she looked at me. "You okay, baby? You okay?" Sure, I couldn't do nothing but smile and laugh because it was funny.
Hey, Bayou's in here, and
Hey, Bayou, Food Forest Permaculture. How you doing?
Miss Shirley was telling about learning how to cook from scratch from her grandma at Water Bath Canyon.
I see. Let me see. My mom passed in 2016. When I went up to New York to clean the house out and stuff, there were canned goods that my grandmother canned back in the 70s still in the cabinet, and the seal wasn't broken or anything. And they look good. The only problem is I couldn't fit all that stuff in my vehicle to bring back down here. So a lot of the canned goods ended up getting thrown away. And
so did you find any, like seeds from, I mean, or even anybody in the chat, have you found any seeds from your great grandparents or parents that, man, that would be cool.
Now, with my grandmother up there, she would buy seeds. Every time the seeds come out, she just buy seeds. She didn't save seeds. I don't know what it was, but she wouldn't save seeds. Down here in Georgia, my grandmother saved seeds, but up there in New York, my grandmother didn't save seeds.
Oh, okay.
I think she bought just enough to plant for that season, and that was it. And she didn't. Down here in Georgia, we could plant all year round, but up there in New York, when the winter season hit, there was no planting nowhere nowhere around it. We only had 3 months, 3-4 months to plant.
Uncle Bama said his mama taught him how to cook, he had no say in it.
Well, the only thing my son he can tell you he can cook is that's spaghetti.
Not the one that you're trying to marry off.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He'd tell you the only thing he could cook is spaghetti. But I learned from my mom. I learned from my mom and my grandmother. My grandmother would be cooking, and me and my other siblings, we would be in the kitchen. We'd be waiting for get the tools off the blender.
Mix,
the mixer. We'd be waiting to get that. There was one get the mixers and one get the bowl.
Oh, yep.
Man,
we always said that was the best cakes. You have to lick the beater. I always tell my kids, I'm like, you have to lick the beater and lick the bowl to make the cake taste good. And they're like, okay, Mom, we gotta do it. You know.
We used to use our fingers, and we'd be getting all up in this. Yeah.
All in raw eggs and stuff.
Hey, back
and
then
it didn't hurt us.
It didn't bother us back then.
Right.
Now, we had that. My grandmother, we would always be in the kitchen when she cooking. I learned how to cook from her, and then my mother, I learned how to cook from her. I took it the first time I cooked by myself. I said I'm gonna get me an egg. I put an egg in the frying pan and forgot about the egg. Went upstairs and stuff, get ready for school. Burnt up the frying pan, smoke and everything in there. She came back home at 4 or something. What happened? I burned the egg. I didn't. She gave me instructions, told me how to do it. She fussed me out because I had no business cooking the egg. But from that point on, whenever she cooked, she tell me what she doing, how she do it, what to do. And my mom, she just taught me. Now, I tell you one thing about her. We can have a church convention, and if there's 5,000 people, there's only one cook in the kitchen. And that was my mom.
Uncle Bammy said that's why you're trying to marry your son off.
You gotta be in that live to catch that whole situation, damn it. It wasn't all me. It had to do with Diva in the Dirt as well.
Right.
Yeah, yes, it does. It stings extremely when it burn an egg. To marry him. Yeah, hey, I'd be glad all my kids get married, and the ones that wasn't my kids. Closest thing to found to was a Colombian. Let me see what the closest thing I found was a Colombian berry bush, a type of pig purple raspberry that my grandparents had planted when they got married. No sooner did I find it, my uncle ran it over with the mower.
Oh, no.
He had some in his heart against him.
Well, hopefully now that we know to save seeds and things like that, that we will let our kids know these seeds can be still viable, and be able to continue with gardening.
Right. That's why when I have all my grandkids together, especially the boys, I would take them out in the back with me, and I had them digging holes, and I put trees in, talk to them about it and everything. When I was cutting the trees in the back, I had them moving it, had them, they couldn't use the chainsaw, but I had them move the logs after me and my son cut it. So I gave them lessons and all that, but they don't want to do it. But I keep telling them about it.
I mean, but that's kids now, but when they get older, they'll be like, "Now, what did Papa say to us?"
Yeah, just like their daddy did. I told him a lot of things. Then when he 32 years old, Papa, you know what? I mean, Daddy, you know what? You was right. You was right. I know I was right, but what we talking about? He told him about some stuff that I told him about, and once he got old and got kids and everything, he finally realized I was telling him the truth.
They learned that as soon as my daughter had her daughter, and she was like, "Ma, you said," I said, "I told you. Now that you're a mom yourself, now you understand."
That's it. That is it. You be hard head, try to do what you want to do and everything. Then when you get kids, oh man, I didn't know I was that bad. My wife would always say that our kids were training kids. Then when the grandkids come along, she know how to treat them. I said, okay, that'll work. That'll work. But it's 7:09, CC. I'm not gonna pull you because they're in there eating pizza.
Yeah, Gina is coming on.
I'm gonna go punch each one of them in the eye and take their pizza from them.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you can, sir.
All right. Well, y'all have a good
You
one.
want to tell the people about yourself before you run?
Oh, okay.
I know you ran fast when you were young, but you're not that young now.
I know, and I cannot run. No. I am Cynthia from CC's Texas Garden. I'm in the great state of Texas, and I'm in Zone 8B, 9A, and it is fall season. We had fall temps this morning. We'll be back in the 80s. I don't know. It's Texas. And but come and check out my channel, see all the things that I'm growing out there, and come and learn something about gardening.
She's a professional at growing leaves, y'all. She's a
It's
professional at growing
leaf
leaves.
season right now, J3. It's my season.
Hey, thank you for coming up, CC.
All right. Bye, y'all.
Everybody in the chat, J3GS Farm, JGDB Haven. I want to thank y'all for coming in, sharing this little bit of time with me. Something to think about our youth that'll put a smile on our face. Because when 2025 come, I pray that our children are blessed and don't have to go back to the years that we all hate. But y'all be blessed. I love you. And since Bamman in here, I love you. Ain't nothing you can do about it. But love me back. Y'all be blessed. And I see y'all in these streets.